Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. And at this point, as I'm taping this, I don't really know what to call this or entitle this video, but I'll come up with a appropriate title because sometimes I will do a commentary video on a comment. And the reason why I do it because I think it's important because the majority of the stuff that I do here is geared towards young folks, educating them. Because when I grew up in the wonderful era that I did, the late 60s and 70s, I had a lot of mentors, not just my dad, but just a lot of older guys to say, hey, don't do that. It's stupid. Do this. It's wise. So, I'm trying to continue that tradition because I really think it's important. Like they say, the children are our future. And if the future don't look good for them, that's because we help make them fail, because they rely on us. Whether it's your own personal son or it's the guy down the street that don't have a father or proper guidance, you step in and try to help out. So that's why I do some of these videos because it's not about venting or giving quote unquote the haters their due because I'm not. I'm educating the young folks to avoid the nonsense because I agree with PT. A lot of things or comments that you get, it's like, where are these people coming from? What planet they live on? And sometimes you ignore because you like, it's not even worth my time or energy, even opening my mouth or saying anything regarding this. But then sometimes you have to because along with the commentary, there's a lesson to be learned, so that's why I do some of these videos. So, I get comments every day. I mean, literally hundreds, requests and things of that nature. And I've already told people in various videos, I can't do this by myself. I can't do it for free because it'd be unfair to the guys like James, Jamal. The list goes on, and the people that support the tabbing service, and I appreciate it. And some people just don't realize, okay, I understand. I didn't realize it took almost an hour and a half to do each video. And if I ask for three of them, that's 3 hours of your day for free. So sometimes I just keep saying that because a lot of people just don't realize it. Ain't that they think they trying to get something for free. They just don't realize that this don't take 6 minutes like the length of the song. But I got an interesting comment today because I get these from time to time, and I feel that it's important again to kind of do a commentary on the comment. And I get this. I did a version of Otis Redding Tramp. And I forgot the name of the famous guitar player that did, a lot of Otis Redding stuff. I think his name is Steve Cropper. So, and he has a very unique style. He loves to do a lot of double stops, which I just really kind of learned a couple of years ago because I was just playing straight out chords as far as these beautiful two-note sliding note chords, And I can thank, the other gentleman on YouTube, Matic, if that's the pronunciation, because it's Niack, something of that nature. But anyway, I did my cover of that, and the guy that got commented on made this comment. You missing all the guitar parts. Now that's an interesting statement built on ignorance because in most of those songs back in the day, there were multiple guitar parts. So I'm like, do I supposed to try to play them all in one sitting? What I do is I pick the main dominant one and I play it. I don't really play a lot of the minute stuff because I look at it this way, and Larry Old School hit it on the nail because he's the only one that kind of caught what I've been doing for the last 4 years. I am the guitar version of the keyboard player, meaning that I'm playing the chords. When you buy regular sheet music, and if there's a piano part, the chords reflect what the piano player is normally doing, not what the guitar player is doing. Because in most setups, the guitar player, and this is I guess music production 101 for you guys when you're putting together a composition. And a lot of times, unless the guitar player is the dominant person or musical piece, like Nile Rodgers stuff, the sheet music does not reflect what the guitar player is doing. It reflects the chords that are normally played by the keyboard player. So that's what I normally play. I don't really play the little tiny little guitar licking parts unless it's the dominant part. Because when you go sit down at the club or at the park or at the beach and you start playing the guitar parts to these songs, nobody know what they are. But when you start playing the chords to these songs and singing over it with the melody, they recognize it. So there's some people that's so ignorant and stupid that they don't realize that I'm not trying to play 5 parts in one sitting. Every now and then what I might do is I might play the dominant guitar part, and then there's another part I might kind of switch off every now and then, but I'm giving you the meat. I'm not giving you the adding of fills and fluff, in the song. And every blue moon I get that ridiculous comment because it lets me know that you have no ear for arrangements, because again, sometimes I play, the chords, because when you get to sheet music, unless you get in full score music where it tabulates everything that's going on in the mix. It tabulates the little guitar licks, it tabulates the little guitar fills, it tabulates the horns, it tabulates everything, But there's some people that just don't realize where they at musically as far as arrangements, and they don't understand it. Because if you got 3 guitar parts going in the song, you play one of them and you play the main chord parts. You don't try to play all 3 of them. So every now and again, I get that ridiculous, stupid ass comment. And I have to address it because it's a learning experience for the people that make this comment because they have no idea as far as arrangements of songs. And they come in not extremely often, but often enough to annoy me because I'm like, come back and step to me when you know what you're doing, production wise, arrangement wise, and then leave a comment. Because here's another one, and I'm going to sign off. I got this comment maybe about 2 years ago, and I actually kind of got it again yesterday. And I don't have my guitar in front of me to show you, but my bass guitar, I learned a long time ago because most professional musicians, and the comments that I get are from guys that are not professionals, meaning that they don't play for 16 hours a day or 2 days or 8 hours straight. So they don't understand. Your hands get tired, and depending on the neck on your guitar, sometimes due to the humidity in the neck and the wood actually shrinks. But the metal strippings on the frets don't budge. They're metal; they don't shrink. Or regarding humidity or anything, it doesn't affect them, but it affects the wood, and the wood has a tendency to shrink, literally. And the metal pieces on the frets have a tendency to, still be out there where the wood shrinks. So, when you're playing up and down the neck, you feel that metal. So I came up with this ingenious idea. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put some duct tape on each side of the neck so I can play as long as I want. Because when I put that duct tape on there, I don't feel those ridges. I don't like feeling those ridges. So I got this comment from one guy, oh, that guitar looks so ghetto. Why don't you just go ahead and get the neck file down? And I responded to him in a very, professional manner. I said, look, sir, do you play 8 hours a day? No, I doubt it. So you have no idea what we have to do and what we need to do and do to play, fluidly for years or for hours at a time. Because I've never ever played in a concert and came off the bandstand and had somebody say, man, you play great up there, but that guitar didn't look good. No one gives a shit about what your guitar looks like. It's about what you can produce the sound out of it. So when you got that mindset where you so wrapped up about what it looks like, you have no idea what music really is, because it's not about the flash and the visual. It's about the audio and how it makes you feel. Because I'm going to say one more thing and sign off. And this guy didn't understand because I didn't even realize I was communicating with somebody from Russia. And I was playing a bass cover, Ephraim Lewis, Drowning in Your Eyes, the bass cover. Beautiful song, and this guy left us too soon. So because I play the Squire, I'm not spending all this money on, on a name. Because all these guitars are basically the same, but most people don't realize that because the marketing tells you something different. So he said, oh, you playing the Squire, why aren't you playing the Fender? Because I don't have $1,000 to waste. And we had this conversation, and I wasn't trying to be disrespectful or snippy, but he understood because apparently the culture in his country is a little different from mine. So I'm like, I learned a long time ago after my near-death experience where I almost died twice that I see things differently now. Why should I go out there and spend an additional $1,200 on something when I can spend $6 and get the same quality? But, the thing is, I'm paying for this name across a piece of wood. It's insane. I take that same money and start putting it towards my daughter's college education years ago, as opposed to overspending on something that I shouldn't be overspending on. But, it takes some people to get a certain point in their life to start to see the things that I see, because I didn't see these things 20 years ago myself. So, everybody has their own, I guess, development stage. But I'm going to sign off now. I just basically want to kind of, touch on the comment as far as, some people have no idea as far as arrangements of songs and how it's arranged and how do you approach it. They make comments that make no sense because again, I'm not trying to play three guitar parts in one sitting. I only got two hands. So it's insane for people to leave me comments that makes no sense because they have no idea as far as music production, music arrangement, and how do you individually approach a song. Cause I'm gonna try to show this because I got so much stuff I want to say, but sometimes I do a cover like 3 years ago. Then when I do it again, I do it a little different because you really never play the same piece twice. Because each time you play it, you hear something different. And it could be a good thing, and it may perhaps to some people interpretation it could be a bad thing. But as you keep progressing, your ear gets better, and you start to hear stuff that you said, "Man, I didn't hear that last year." Because when I first did my One Nation Under Groove Funkadelic song, I played the chords, but I didn't really focus on what the guitar player was doing. I said, you know what? Because the one guy said, not a bad job, but he said it's not a bad job and it's close. I'm like close, and the ego kicked in when people make those comments. But then I listened to it, and said, you know what? You're right. So I went back and I redid it, and I did it to the letter. I mean, I played the intro like the guys on the record played the intro. Every little nuance and accent I caught, because it wasn't extremely busy and extremely variation, because sometimes you can't catch stuff because the musicians in the recording, they vary. They most of the time you stick to the script, and every now and then you throw in a variation, but sometimes the variations are so various, like I can't catch all this. I don't have 6 hours to sit down and map out every little thing that the guy on the record did. So therefore I'm just going to kind of keep it straight and throw a little flair in when I can. But you don't do the same thing twice in most cases. So cause a perfect example is the One Nation Under a Groove. I nailed that song. I'm just like boom, and I've never had anybody or seen anybody, play it to the letter like on the record. But I was like, I'm determined to do this to shut some people up, and I'm glad that he brought it to my attention because I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm playing too much of the chord thing according to the sheet music than the guitar thing, because the guitar thing is quite dominant in that song and the synthesized bass line. So until next time, take care. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your support.